Hey guys, Nick from KN Tech, welcome back. So today I'm going to be having a look at my desktop, not my desktop on my screen, but my desktop as in my desktop. So this is an IKEA Linmon desktop, and I had a comment on one of my videos recently, thank you at Nordic Brit for this. Apparently there's a problem with having desk mounted monitor stands on the Linmon desk. So I'm going to have a look around, see if I can find out what the problem is and see what the fix is. Come along for the ride, guys. So this is the Linmon desktop, which I got from IKEA, and in actual fact those two are as well, and I've teamed it up with a set of Alex drawers. For those of you that haven't seen me doing my office stroke studio upgrade, I'll stick a link to that up in the top left corner. Top right corner, top left corner, not quite sure which way. So this is a Linmon desk, and I found out that these Linmon desks, I kind of knew anyway by the weight of it, they're not actually solid wood. So what you have inside is kind of a corrugated cardboard affair with a very small veneer on the top and bottom. And that gives it stiffness, and it also makes it nice and light. And it also makes it reasonable and fairly cheap in terms of the cost. So the problem I've noticed, and thanks Nordic Brit for this, I actually looked online and there's quite a few people where they've got a monitor stand and they've actually clamped it to the Linmon desktop. What's happening is it actually starts to compress the cardboard inside, and what happens is the monitors start to droop. So you tighten it up a little bit more and it starts to droop a little bit more. And eventually what happens is the desk gives way and the monitors come crashing down. Well, they just kind of fold forward really. But it basically ruins the desktop. So I've actually been quite lucky with mine because I've got the full-size mouse mat on top of the desk, and I've actually got that sandwich between the desk and the clamp for the monitor mount. So I'm actually not depressing too much actual physical exertion on a single point on the desktop. However, I do have two 27-inch monitors on there, and I am kind of worried that if I keep using it like this, eventually the desk is going to give way a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut a piece of metal out from an old PC case, tower case, and I'm going to slip it underneath the desk pad, between the desk pad and the actual desk itself, and that's going to help spread out the weight, spread out where the desk clamp, the monitor clamp is actually clamping onto the desk. What I'm going to do on the bottom is I'm going to put a piece of wood where you screw the clamp up underneath as well. So what I thought I'd do is I'd just make a quick video to show you guys how it's going to work, how I'm going to do it, and then hopefully it's going to make it last a little bit longer and be a bit more stable once I've done this. So I'll take some pictures now and I'll try and talk you through what I've got at the moment, and we'll see how it works out. So I had an old PC tower case, and in actual fact it's the one that I cut up to make my test bench, and I had a spare panel left out of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that spare panel, in fact I've already done it, but I'm going to take that spare panel and I've actually cut a piece out which is going to be kind of the size that I want to go underneath on the top of the desk. And the good thing about this is it's super thin, which means it's actually not going to, you're actually not going to notice it once I've got it underneath the full-size desk pad I've got. And what I'm going to put on the bottom is I'm going to put a piece of wood which is like an inch square. So this is the piece of wood I'm going to put on the bottom, and those two circle clamps are going to go underneath it, and this is going to clamp on the desk, this is going to clamp on the bottom of the desk underneath. So let's go ahead and get those fitted in, and we'll see if it's a little bit more stable. Okay, so I'm going to use my my small rig mount, which I reviewed a little bit, well not kind of reviewed, kind of showed you guys what I got in a previous video, and that was my opening up some Christmas presents and going through what they look like and how they're going to work. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll stick a link for that up in the top right corner as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to hopefully see if we can get some idea about what's going on here. So what we can see is, if we look real close underneath here, we can see, so this is actually underneath the monitor. And let me move one of these monitors out the way so we can get a better look at it. So what we can see here is, this is the actual mount that I've got on the desk, and you can see I'm quite lucky because it's actually quite a wide base, which means it's spreading the weight already. However, there do seem to be a lot of places online I've seen it starts to dig in at this front leading edge here as the weight of the monitors tends to come forward. So I'm going to put a piece of metal that slides underneath this, on top of the desk and underneath the mouse mat, and that's going to help clamp that. And if we look underneath the desk as well, what we can see, excuse all the cables, we can see that this is actually just literally a couple of round discs which clamp on the bottom. And this is the bit that I'm a little bit more worried about, because this is actually a very, very small point of contact in terms of compression for the cardboard on the inside. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to put a piece of wood on underneath that, and hopefully that's going to spread the load out a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do it, and we'll see how it turns out at the end. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the clamps on the bottom. That's going to allow me to slide the piece of metal underneath the desk pad. between the clamp and the desk. Okay, and you'll see that I've actually pushed my monitors back to the side. And the reason I've done this is because I didn't want it actually pulling the weight all the way forward. And you can see the way this is rocking. It's loose, but it's not actually unstable. What this is going to let me do, it's hopefully going to allow me to slide this. It's going to allow me to slide this piece underneath the pad, underneath the desk pad, and get it underneath the top of the mount and slide it in, and that way I can tighten it up from the bottom. Now I've already checked this and I've already cut this out and I've already filed all the edges off, so there's no sharp edges on here at all, which means it's not going to damage my desk, and hopefully it's not going to damage the underside of this mouse pad either. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this slid right in. Okay, so that's pretty much underneath. That's now in there, and I can feel if I press real hard that the edge of that is right there and right there. So it's covering all of the base plate of that. So now what I'm going to try and do is go underneath, and I'm going to try and put the large piece of wood underneath the clamps at the bottom, which is going to hopefully stop it digging in the bottom of the desk. So this is going to be a little more tricky because I actually have to take these clamps all the way out and extend them down, because they're on these kind of clips, which basically mean they're adjustable. So you can take them off and then you can adjust them, and it, depending on how thick your desk is, depends on how far up you actually need to push this. And I need to be very careful at this point because there's technically nothing holding my monitors on the desk at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer up one of these. Find out how far up I need to put this, and I'm going to tighten it up so that it loosely holds. That way, if it does fall, it's only going to slip forward a tiny little bit. So now I can go ahead and do the same with the second one. Now what I can do is, whilst I'm just holding these, I can loosen this off a little bit. Move this all the way across to where it's going to finally sit, and then what I'll do is I'll tighten this one up just so that it holds the monitor stand, and I should be able to put the second one up. Now I can tighten these right down, safe in the knowledge that it's not going to damage the desk because I've spread the point of contact between the monitor stand and the desk. So if I roll this desk mat back, we can see right underneath there we have our plate of metal, which is going to now sit between the desk and the desk cover, this large mouse mat. And we can see that that's actually going to change the point of contact on the desk, so it's not actually going to pull through and start crushing the top veneer of the desk. So there you have it, guys. That's how you reinforce an IKEA Linnemann desktop if you wanted to use a desk mount for your monitors. It's certainly going to be useful if you're going to use 2 monitors, and it's almost definitely going to be guaranteed needed if you're going to use 3. You could probably get away with using a single monitor, but I probably wouldn't take the chance. So there you go, guys. Just a short video to show any of you guys that have got the IKEA Linnemann desktop. One of the problems that you may come across if you're going to be using multiple monitors and you're going to be using a bracket to mount them. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found the video useful. Don't forget to hit the bell notification and the subscribe button to be notified when I put more videos up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.